All right, so the last kind of big piece of the puzzle here is the arbitrary-arity methods, which is kind of a mouthful, and that's just a long way of saying all of or any of. Obviously, we're going to focus on all of here. So if you recall, flat map returns this stream of completable futures to processing that's taking place asynchronously. And then we're going to have a single way of waiting for the completion of all those completable futures before continuing on with the rest of the program. And that's basically what collect is going to do as always. Collect is a way of joining lots of things together. Now, another thing to remember here, I've kind of been describing this layer by layer as though the processing started when the intermediate operation was reached. But in fact, as you undoubtedly know at this point, nothing starts to run until collect gets called. So all the intermediate operations ahead of this are not called at all until collect is reached in the stream. So that triggers the intermediate operations, and it returns that completable future, one completable future that completes when all the other stuff that's running around asynchronously has wrapped up. When that happens, when everything else is done, we then go ahead and apply this particular action, which is going to log the number of elements in the stream. So it's going to keep track of what happened. And this is kind of cool. This particular code shown here uses a feature of optional that was added in Java 9. So you have to have Java 9 in order for this to work. So if you have Java 9, you can say stream.flatMap optional : stream. And that will create a stream of elements that ignore empty optionals. So recall, if something had been cached earlier, we had empty optionals that were traversing and trickling down through all the different intermediate operations in that pipeline. And now we're just going to get rid of them by saying stream.flatMap optional stream, and it gets rid of anything that's empty. If you don't have Java 9 and you have Java 8 only, then you have to use this more verbose thing where you filter for only optionals whose values are present, and then you go ahead and get the results of those things. So it's doable with Java 8, but Java 9 is a lot cleaner. Java 9 and beyond, obviously. So Java 8 is obviously more verbose. So if you have the benefit of these optional features in Java 9 and beyond, use them. Sadly, Android does not give you this option because Android only supports Java 8 at this point. Who knows if they will ever support Java 9. I guess the Supreme Court will help us decide that at some point because they've taken up the Google versus Oracle case at the Supreme Court level. So here's the join method that, as we talked about before, waits until everything is complete. So that's going to block, but it's the one and only place that we block in the entire program. OK. And then once we're all done, the results are displayed because we've downloaded them into the appropriate directory, and we can display them. OK, so that's a quick overview of the use of the arbitrary-arity methods. Now I'm going to talk about, in the next part of the lesson, how to implement this variant of toFuture.